The Upanishads say that the purpose of life is to realize Brahman, the wholeness of life itself. First discovered within, then realized as the common essence in everything. But a question has come up in the comments in my videos a few times, asking, what exactly do I do with this information? How does it affect my everyday life? And that's a fair question, but the honest answer is, it doesn't remove your to-do list. You still have to get up in the morning, you still have to go to work, do chores, pay your bills. There's an old Zen story that puts this beautifully. Somebody asks a Zen master, "What did you do before enlightenment?" And he said, "Chop wood and carry water." And then they asked, "What do you do after enlightenment?" And he said, "Chop wood and carry water." Nothing changes, and yet everything does. Because while it doesn't change the world around you and the things that you have to do, it fundamentally changes your experience of life itself. And this insight appears again and again across different traditions. In Taoism, there is a story told by Chuang-Tzu about the useless tree. A carpenter comes across a huge ancient tree. Its branches are twisted, its wood is knotted and irregular. It's completely unsuitable for timber. The carpenter dismisses it as worthless and walks on. That night, the tree appears to the carpenter in his dream. And the tree says, in effect, if I had been useful, I would have been cut down long ago. Because the tree is useless to the carpenter, it has been allowed to grow tall, wide, and old. It offers shade, it offers rest, it simply lives. The tree doesn't exist to serve a purpose. Its being is enough. And awakening points to the same realization. You don't awaken to become more useful, or to become more impressive, or more productive. You awaken to see that life doesn't need defending in order to be whole. Awakening is an ordinary experience in the deepest sense. It is simply waking up to the true nature of reality, and waking up to your own true nature. A recognition that you are not separate from the world you are living in. Yongey Mingyur Rinpoche, in the book In Love with the World, which is a great book by the way, says that there is no spiritual reality separate from daily life. And then Alan Watts in Nature, Man and Woman, another great book, he says that with the realization of unity, nothing is gained and nothing is lost. So there's no spiritual badge to be gained, there's no permanent state of inner bliss, there's no escape hatch from being human. But what comes with it is a sense of inner peace, a feeling that life doesn't have to be fought quite so hard, and a trust that at the fundamental level, things are exactly how they should be. You find it easier to flow with life rather than push against it. But another very practical objection has come up a few times, and that is, well, I still have to pay my bills, don't I? And yes, you do. As Jesus said, pay to Caesar what is Caesar's. There will always be things that we have to do and things that we wished were different. But this is where the Buddha's insight becomes crucial. He didn't say that suffering comes from external events. He said that suffering comes from our aversion to them. It's how we handle them, how we face them. If we constantly have this inner resistance, this fighting against what is, then we will suffer. It's not the bill that hurts, it's the story that we're adding to it, the resistance to it, the resentment that we have towards it. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said something very similar. He said, there is only one way to happiness, and that is to stop worrying about the things that are beyond the power of our will. Knowing the difference between what can be changed and what must be accepted. That is why the serenity prayer has endured for so long. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So two key things that I want to mention here, and that is that acceptance is not resignation, and that action doesn't require inner resistance. This is the heart of engaged Buddhism, a movement emphasized by Thich Nhat Hanh. Engaged Buddhism is actively working towards peace and justice, meeting the world fully and compassionately, but recognizing that it is an illusion to think that our preferences must be met in order for us to find peace. Eckhart Tolle in A New Earth talks about having an inner purpose and an outer purpose. Our outer purpose is our jobs, our responsibilities, our roles, and our inner purpose is what we should be prioritizing, and that is to awaken to presence. Chopping wood becomes just chopping wood. Carrying water becomes carrying water. There's no added burden or demand that life should be any different. This simplicity is what brings peace. Life no longer has to be perfect, and we're no longer at war with what is. That's the quiet revolution of awakening. Nothing dramatic, nothing added, just the end of unnecessary resistance. Life exactly as it is, recognized as whole. But there is something that prevents us from awakening, and that's what I talk about in this video, so watch that one next.